Okay, we are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to the Hockey Nation Live show with your host, Coach Francis, directly from the booth. And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find our co-host, the only one, the unique, the Santa Claus of the week, Michael De Villano.
How you doing,
Welcome,
Pierre?
Michael. Merry Christmas. I know it's tomorrow, but we can start today.
Yep, I don't know. It's all the same.
Yeah,
Every day is Christmas here.
it's a COVID Christmas this year.
It's been Christmas for 3 days already.
We back from Dallas a couple of days ago, and we play a tournament over there. We have already like 2 players positive, 2 parents positive.
Are they
And,
sick?
Not really.
not
I think
sick,
I have
man.
one, but the player are not sick. Well, same tone, but not like. But one of
Christmas-
the parents is a little bit more sick, but older. But at the end of the day,
This is nonsense. They should go for testing, because I know this is off topic, but I mean, I think what we're seeing is when you understand the testing, if they're 25 or above, they basically don't have, like, that's the number, the PCR number. They're not sick.
I think I always said, like, I think we talk about this together about you should have a kind of level, like level 1, whatever is the number, the level right now, 1, 2, and 3, and really, or the code number, whatever, red, black, whatever they are. I think that would be more appropriate, because right now it's like you test positive, you have COVID, right?
It's not, and which is ridiculous, because it's got to end, because otherwise they're just going to keep locking us down forever, and that's not going to end in a year. So we've all got to, as people, stand up. This is ridiculous. We know if you are 25 or above, you're not sick. Now, you may be contagious, but that doesn't justify us locking down the world. And getting this is not terminal.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about COVID, we have to
play hockey.
I think until Monday, everything was quiet in NHL until they said, we are back. We are going to start January 13th. And now everybody is jumping and they work hard. And, we have a lot of breaking news around the league right now. And let's start with a signature, a couple of signatures yesterday. Mailer from the goaltender from the Anaheim Ducks resigned another contract with them. It was already announced, but not, talking about this, but he was not announced. I'm sorry about officially, honestly. And then Anaheim did it yesterday, so they signed a veteran. He's already like 41 years old.
Already, man, the guy's been around forever.
Yeah,
he's been
he's from Buffalo.
He's 1987, isn't he?
Yeah, Buffalo to Vancouver to Anaheim. It's another type of player. It's really quiet. You don't hear a lot from him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He did pretty well last year.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing what he does and everything like that. So
he can still play.
He still play.
He's got kids in the. I think his kid plays in the Anaheim Junior Ducks program.
We talk about Class C. You talk about professional athletes. He's one of them. Honestly, remember he's run with a Team USA Olympics. I think it was Olympics at that moment. He did very well with them, and he have a great long career, and very proud of what Miller did. And
this season will benefit him, right? Like these older players will really. I think you'll see teams. This is why Toronto is so interesting, because now with a shortened season, you've got to think that these older players are going to have really good years. They can. It's to their benefit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's good also for Anaheim did very well. Gibson's going to get 80% of the start anyway.
He can play all the games and not
most. I think he can get 55 of them.
Easy.
But at the end of the day, I think it's good. Anaheim know already what Miller can bring. They know what kind of player he is, a goaltender. So good chance for him. Talking about the Buffalo Sabre earlier. They signed a young man where we tried to figure out what kind of player he's going to become in the NHL. Casey
Middlestad.
Yeah. sign another 1 year contract with them and see what happening. Again, I'm not sure. He's a good. He's a good guy.
Talented.
He's a good kid, but
He's
again,
talented. That's what he is. He's immature.
yeah, I go with you. I think the worst is really well like that way. He's signing a minimum of $874,000 1 year contract. Hopefully, he will bring that kind of maturity, growth from that part of this. Some get at the early age or at the beginning of their career. Some get a little bit later. I don't want to give up on him. He's only 22 years old.
Yeah,
but
and I think that's what
six overall draft pick by Buffalo and Chicago. Remember we was there when he did get picked over there.
Very talented player. I mean,
yep, very good.
But this all goes back to Pierre, what he did in Minnesota. And you could see that he was being coddled in Minnesota as a kid. This is before, right?
Yeah.
So even in his draft year, I'm going to go back to high school and play high school hockey. Instead of going to the USHL full time, he split time so he could go win a state championship, which he didn't do.
He was with who was the player with him?
I don't know if there was another player on that team.
Yeah. But a duo over there. They are two great hockey players together. They play together. They grow together. They was dominate Minnesota.
Who was that?
And I cannot remind you which name is it, but he was draft also. I will find it to you a little bit later.
On Eden Prairie?
Oh, he was played with him in high school.
Yeah, Eden Prairie is the high school.
Okay.
I didn't think there was another player on that team that got drafted. If you look at
a player, him and another player was dominate, and they was like very close together. That's the reason why he did not want to follow the path.
Well, I mean, that kid hasn't even been drafted. If you look at the players on Eden Prairie High School, there was Casey Middlestad, Hunter Johannes, Nolan Sullivan, and Jack Jensen, and none of those guys have done anything. So I think this again goes back to like a terrible. It's not just one decision. Like we drafted him in the WHL, and the best thing for that kid would have been either go to the USHL full time and develop, playing against better players, or come to us and play a 72 game schedule and have a billet and learn how to be more mature in that scenario, in a pro scenario. And he didn't do that. And he signaled, then he went to Minnesota and didn't do well there. And it just keeps carrying through, like he's coddled.
Yeah. But again, maybe, advice really from one member of the family, or maybe someone around him, they tell all those kind of decisions. You know what I mean?
My point. Because I think this is my point, which is grit matters, right? We're in a tough sport, and no matter how much you try to mommy it, and at 18, they're men. He's getting drafted, and now he's signing almost $1 million contracts, and he's going to be a bust.
He's not look right now. He needs to, some kids change a little bit later, some show up late, and hopefully he would be like a late one for them. And he's have a time, I think, at 22, but you have so many players like him. I don't want to classify Galchenyuk with him because Galchenyuk produced.
That's the name that came to my mind when you said that. I was thinking Galchenyuk.
Yeah, but I think Galchenyuk make more like he scored 2 seasons, 30 goals. I think KC is a little bit lower. That I think another one I was thinking is more about the Russian kids play for Quebec Rampart under Patrick Roy. He came from Buffalo Sabres too. It was a Kikensenko. Mikhail
Grigorenko.
Yeah. It's another one. He never been the way they was expect from him.
So the difference there, I would say, these are two different problems. But first of all, is Grigorenko the age that he advertises? Because the feeling was among scouts that he was 2 years older. So he was already peaked. So that I think that played with how high he was ranked, and he was always a very perimeter player. And Columbus has brought him back, and I don't believe in him. I don't think that he's going to be able to carve out a top 6 role. He's got talent. He's big, but he doesn't play that way. Galchenyuk, the issue there is similar, I think, but more extreme, where his dad played at a high level, and the father I'm in Arizona, Pierre. What, a month and a half ago, and what is everybody talking about? Galchenyuk's father is on the ice with him, yelling at him. This guy's a 20. Is he a 92?
Yeah, he
Or
maybe
93? Like what birth
94.
years? He's a man.
Yeah, the dad was a big problem when he
He
was
is
drafted on Montreal.
still.
They will like get texting between period.
This is. I mean, this is a month ago. This guy is a man, and he's still got this. So your family has got to be smart enough to realize at some point, yeah, baby birds got to fly because you're screwing up them maturing. So I say
But
this for
again, it's the same player when at 20, 21 years old, his
ridiculous.
sister joined him at the apartment in Montreal, and he was turning on the Grayson Street, and he was more,
Partying all the time.
yeah. So it's a lot of stuff behind the door. We don't know everything like that. What the reason don't perform that level, everything like that. But
I'm not
yeah,
saying that's Casey, but families have got to be smart of how they
yep,
handle their kids, right?
absolutely right.
They got to let them mature.
Good point there. Yeah.
14, 15, you got to recognize they're not babies at that point. So if you're still doing that at 17, 18, you're holding them back.
Yep. Two more signature happening yesterday. One is coming from Michael Frolik with the Montreal Canadiens, a 1-year contract at $750,000. Frolik played for Buffalo Sabres. He have a couple of runs with the Calgary. Was a draft, I think it was 10 or 6 from Florida in 2000. Yeah. Yep. And right wing, he play over 800 games in NHL. Still a great hockey player, but for the last couple of years, he become more a two-way player, like more defensive side, everything like that.
He was a very good two-way guy.
Yeah, I think Frolik can bring. I think Frolik can bring a couple of things there. But again, I think Montreal's looking more for that. I think some team is starting to become more smart. Maybe thinking, oh, you know what, we're going to maybe missing a couple of players for COVID and everything like that. And I think to have him at 750, that's good experience-wise, bring a little bit more on the table versus a young man, younger player. So I think it's a good chancer for
I agree.
Montreal.
There's a lot of bodies in Montreal.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And there's only 56 games. Yep. So you got to say, how many playoff games will there be? Will there be 4 rounds? Will there be more? Have they announced that yet?
But again, I always said to you, Michael, I think something like Montreal, and I don't want, I love Montreal, but my point to you is a lot of teams right now sign players lower salary like that, like him, to expose those players on the.
That's true.
On the waiver list for the Seattle. So we have a couple of moves you're going to see this because they were not going to, let it go some other players. So I think that's what the reason I believe Montreal did exactly what they did Jake Allen, and I can go more a little bit deeper. But talking about signature, we have another one from the Nashville Predator. They have a back-to-back days with signature. The day earlier, they signed Michael Granlund, re-signed with the Predator for $3.75 million for 1 year. And now they get one player. I really believe, I love these players. Not like he's my favorite player, but I like what he does. And I don't think so. We give him enough credit or respect. Is Eric Holla. Signed a 1 year, $175 million. I think Florida Panthers missed this one. I don't know what's going on there, but I want to go move on. But Ola came from the Carolina Hurricanes for the trade for Vincent Trocheck. And before that, he had a great year with the Golden Knights for Vegas. He came from, he was on the no protection list, I believe, from Minnesota Wild. But so that's what Ola is. I think he's a good veteran. Score, 12 goals, 12 assists, 24 points, 40 couple of game, I think so. So I don't know. I like this. I like he can play center, some left wing too. Good pick from Nashville too. I think Nashville picked 2 good veteran, solid players back to back there with Granlund and Ola.
So, and I think we forget. 3 years ago, this guy scored 29 goals.
Yeah, that's why I said you have a great year with the Golden Knights.
Like he definitely can play. he's had injury problems, and I think that's the thing. But again, here's a guy that in a shortened season, this may really benefit him.
That's another point. And then for under $2 million for 1 year, I don't know what
It could be a really good value. If he
I think
can
so
stay
too.
healthy for 56 games in the playoffs, you might have like 20, 25 goals from that guy. You never know. He might be like real dynamic offensive. Depends on the role too, because they have holes in Nashville, as we know. So you could see where you move.
Listen, I don't get Florida. They have Parkov. Now they have to go with Wenberg. Then they have Carter Van Hahe, and then they have Noel Ashieri. So you have one great center, and then you have three guys that can play four line or maybe third line. I don't get it. I really don't. What the heck's going on with the Panthers? I'm sorry, but I don't get it.
So the only thing I can think of, and I think it's a big gamble, is you're betting on Wenberg. Now, the other guy that I believe will step in, and I think is going to be better than everyone is saying, is the guy they drafted from Finland. So I think that, but it's tough to bank on those guys. Like Owen Tippett hasn't even made a full-time arrival. So Wenberg is a very good skater. He can kill penalties. He can't shoot the puck, but he's a good distributor. Who's going to bury it? Like, because he needs to be able to set somebody up.
Yeah, no, they have. I think Tugler is a good deal. I think for that money for 1 year,
Sure.
they don't lose. They have Patrick Orvis, but again, Owen Tippett
Yeah,
is not.
deal, man.
Tippett never been yet what he's supposed to be. They have the guy from Denver University. I forgot his name. He's not on the roster now in front of me, but yeah. And then you have the Russian kid is pretty good. Also, they expect him maybe make the playoff make the team this year.
Well, he's very good.
He's really really good.
Yeah, but to your point, so listen. First, I have to think. I hope that they're talking to the coach because they've got one of the best coaches in the NHL, and the coach is probably saying, "We don't need Hoffman and Dadonov. Let's run with these horses and break them in. Let's get the young guys in. We can trust Wenberg for a year or two." And I hope that's what's happening. But we're going to find out. It feels risky, right? There's no guarantee in what they're doing. It feels like it's risky. It's either or. It's going to boom or bust.
The only good news for them, they play in the Central Division.
Yeah.
And so they play against the team where they are most like the way they are. So I think they will have a chance. But again, I don't know. I feel like this team is not going to go. I don't expect a lot from them.
We talk about how veteran players will benefit from the shortened season. The guy that won't, in my opinion, is Bobrovsky. Because Bobrovsky always has a terrible start. And last year he managed to stretch it to an entire friggin' season. He's not young anymore. And now you're saying, oh, there's only 56 games. You don't have time to warm up, buddy. So this could be a real mess for Florida.
Yeah, I agree with you about that
one.
A
wasted year for Barkov. Like, what a waste. And Huberdeau.
Yeah, another player is the for some reason he's not mentioned nowhere, but the Tampa Bay Lightning signed Matthew Joseph for a 2 years contract, and then also they signed Alex Volkov. Joseph has 737, and then Volkov has $700,000. So I think like we talk about. We talk about waiver lists. We talk about those. You can see now those team does all the kind of stuff like that to get that kind of list for protection list. Talking about Tampa Bay, they signed Joseph Volkov. We heard yesterday, and it's confirmed now. Kushar is going to be out of the season, so he's going to be on the LTR RR.
Bad. That's a tough injury too. Like the hip is like a lot of guys don't come back from that the same. Look at Schneider.
Now they heard from Brisbane he should be ready for the playoff. So we'll see.
Like, look at what happened to Schneider. That hip injury is no joke.
So we'll see. What could happen.
Very
it is. Is it another way where maybe Tampa? I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I think Senko before that, prior to that, was a problem with hip. No,
I can't remember. He's had so many injuries. Was he a
yeah,
hip injury or a shoulder? I can never keep. Let's look it up because I don't want to speculate. Um,
I believe it was a hip problem like 2 years before that.
I know he had a knee
Oh,
injury.
he broken his leg for sure.
He broke his leg. He had a knee injury. He just came off abdominal surgery.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He could have. I think the hip though is very concerning.
Yep. So talking about another player is just out for 4 to 6 months is Alexander Nylander for the Chicago Blackhawks.
That's
Knee surgery. It's another one where he did very well last season. Michael, he was really his first year in the NHL. I don't know why Buffalo let him go.
I do.
I don't know the story behind that part of it, but
look at Chicago. He went from the first line to the fourth line in Chicago. He's got all the talent in the world, but he does not manage the puck well, and he doesn't have the maturity to play with the guys he's playing with. You got the talent, but he dropped down to like the third, fourth line. So it's a really unfortunate thing that he's out because that he needs all the time he can get, and they really bit the bullet and played him to try and break him in. They traded Yokiharu for him, who went to Buffalo, and Yokiharu is similar in the sense he's got all the talent. He could be a top four, but it's weird. We keep hearing this about Finnish players. He had a lot of off ice conflict with teammates, and that was, and he didn't really want to train that hard.
Yeah.
So they swap problems.
Yeah, it happens sometime. I'll be honest with you. It could happen.
Sure, yeah. They're both very talented players.
Yeah, and yesterday we talked also the signature of Grenland and Blackwood, so we don't want to talk about this. I want to mention one thing. Do you know they have 10 teams right now in NHL? They are over the salary at that moment. We talk about Arizona, Tampa Bay, Vancouver, St. Louis, Toronto, Washington, Vegas, Anaheim, Winnipeg, and the Edmonton Oilers. And right now, under $1 million. So less of $1 million right now. They have 4 teams: Calgary Flames, the Dallas Star, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Carolina Hurricanes. So I'm talking about 14 teams, Michael, of 31. So that gives you an idea how this works. So many will use the long-term injury reserve to find the cap flexibility. I think that's the way I believe it's going happening over there.
Sure.
Example, the Coyotes are 3.47 million over the cap, placing permanently sideline the winger. Who?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Marian Hossa, and is 5,275,000.
Oh, you're saying he's on their books because of the trade with Chicago?
He's still on their books, so they can put him on that. So that was
that'll come
under. So just give you an idea. And St. Louis have to sign the RFA Vance done, but now they can also put Alexander Steen, on the LAT for 5.75. So you're going to get the kind of stuff like that where the team's going to put a little bit more players, like Kucherov is another one over there. And then you could have another way to find a way to get there. So I think at the end of the day, maybe Vancouver Canucks could figure out what they're going to do with Louis Eriksson.
Eriksson's the guy that they're going to figure out. I'm surprised they never bought him out, to be honest with you. But I think
that's what Chris Johnson, one in a Sportnet guy, talked about him yesterday about that on the radio show about he has the same words he just said. He did not understand yet why Vancouver did not buy him out yet. So would be interesting. This is all around the NHL, and they still have to figure out January 13. And I always said, when the holidays is over, everything's getting faster in hockey usually, right? But now this year we start January 13. We'll turn around this program, and then we say, oh my God, it starts tonight, Michael. It's ready. and that will come very soon. So a lot of activities going to know. I know it's Christmas. I know maybe one or two things, a couple of things will be out for the next maybe 24 hours. But tell you right now, you're going to hear more news. The next, yeah, you're going to hear on that the news, everything like that. And just want to remind everybody before we jump into the Dallas Star, the World Junior Championship start tomorrow, the 25th, and like we start to do, we have a special program every day on the Daily Show on the Hockey Nation Live show about the World Juniors. So just follow up, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, on the Facebook page on the Hockey Nation Live show, and also the Michael one. So Dreaming Puck or Puck and Dreams? I don't never know.
Oh, Pucks and Dreams, yeah.
Here we go. So
we missed one signing, which was Dawson Mercer signed his entry-level contract with New Jersey.
When this happened?
I think this morning.
I just, it's funny because when I said that it's all about what's going on here, it's not yet on the Sportnet.
Oh, yeah, it's on Cap Friendly.
Okay.
So I think he signed for not the full amount. He signed 9 something. So
925.
Yeah, I don't know if he. I don't know if they know something we don't. Like, is he? I think he's going to pick up a lot of minutes now that Kirby Dach's injured.
He had a good tournament last year, Michael.
He's a good player, man. He can really play. He can do everything well. Like,
I don't know what Montreal, he could have him in 16 and not he. I think he was picking 18 if I remember.
Well, New Jersey had so 2 guys that are interesting that we'll talk about. The guy that we call Shakir Mukhamadullin is actually Mohammedullin, is how we pronounce it, which we learned yesterday. And Dawson Mercer, both. Tom Fitzgerald got both those guys, man. Their draft is looking very good because Mohammedullin was very good yesterday against Canada.
I really believe New Jersey, maybe not yet. I think 3 years from today, and 3 years. New Jersey will be a great team with those kind, like both of them. Then you have Ursher over there. They have Quinn Hughes over there. They have Blackwood now. So I think that team is going to be one great hockey team over there for sure.
And
so
I think I agree with you. They're not ready yet, but man, it's interesting.
Yeah, very agree with you about that one. Let's move on. I just check me. Nothing's going on with TSN.
Oh, I wanted to mention one other thing. St. Louis announced that Ryan O'Reilly is going to be the new captain.
Yeah, well, we talked about this yesterday, but you're absolutely right. It was confirmed yesterday. I make an announcement on the website for you.
Okay.
I know you like Ryan, so great decision. I'll be honest with you.
He'll be a great captain. He's all the guys love him. He works harder than anybody.
Yeah.
He's I think it's unfortunate that I still think it's a huge mistake they let Peter Angelo go, and I'm not convinced they'll make the playoffs. But great for Ryan. I love him, and his family are great, and you couldn't ask for a better captain.
And before we move on, just want to let you know the NHL announced the schedule for the upcoming season.
Oh, good.
Everybody start January 13, 14, 15 that weekend. A lot of game back to back, so it's going to be a little bit like like Montreal. It's going to be a little bit like Michael, like the baseball major league. So they have a weekend 3-game series, a 3-game usually in baseball, sometimes 4-game, right? Thursday to Sunday. Hockey does the same thing. So, example, Chicago visit Florida Panthers for the weekend, 6-15, 14-15. They're going to have some back-to-back game, and some's going to be Friday, off Saturday, and play Sunday. But everybody back home or on the road, or they do nothing between Monday to the next following after that. So
can be interesting.
It's good. I really believe this. I'll be honest with you. For hockey, I really believe one thing they're going to learn and they're going to promote in marketing a lot, because it's become more about rivalities right now. You're going to have a lot of rivalities, going to have a lot of bad things will happen on the ice, because when you play 9th time or 8th time again, Matthew Tkachuk or those brothers and everything like that, you play all the time with the same team back to back to back to back. It's accumulate, and I'm telling you right now, I can't wait to see Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. You're going to see a lot of things this year we never see usually. I can tell you that.
Yeah, what I hope happens is that they follow the playoff format of last year, but I don't know if they announced that yet.
Yeah, they are not. No, they are not going the same way. So they have 16 team, four in the each division, 1 to 4, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 is the best of 7. Now they go. It's all inter division, so they have a winner on each division, and then they go from 1 to 4, and they go semifinals, Stanley Cup, and they go from there.
Bummer.
So I think that's right. I think that it's okay, because at some point, 24 and let it go. I have too much, and the time is the problem. They get the schedule is January 13 to May 8, and after that the playoffs start, and they want to finish everything on the first 2 weeks in July, and they go from there. So everything going to be from the third weeks in July until the end of July, to do all the kind of stuff, training, the draft, and then the UFA, and the draft for the Seattle, and then all kind of stuff like that, to be ready for October 21, for the second, for the year after that, the regular season. But I believe they're going to have a couple of things change in the NHL because of that situation this year. I don't know, like, which one but it could have, something could happen there. It would be very interesting to see this upcoming season. Like you said, because it's a short season, you're going to have some surprise we don't expect. So, because a team get hot for 15 games,
you can totally do it.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Pay attention to San Jose Sharks.
Well, you got to think they're going to improve if they're healthy, right? Because their biggest problem was Logan Couture, Timo Meier, like, pretty significant injuries. Thomas Hertl, like
they missed, exactly. They missed a lot of players at the beginning of the year last year, Michael. At the beginning, not at the middle or the end, at the beginning. So Carlson and all those guys like this, I believe they don't play hockey for 1 year at most. So healthy wise, they come better. And
crazy.
They have 2 solid goalies with John the top Nick over there. I don't think they become the best in the league. But if you have a team can make the playoff. From last year, did not make the playoff. One thing can come in now this year. I believe San Jose, and also they have not a big division hockey. So they have the division other effect is Vegas and Colorado. The 6 other team, they are all in the mix. Arizona, Anaheim, Los Angeles, they're all the team rebuild over there. And I think Coyotes are not strong. So Anaheim can go around them and we thought that.
Yeah, I don't think Anaheim's ready. Anaheim's got a really good goalie but San Jose legitimately, if they're healthy, you're right. And I think Dubnyk will bounce back. I'm not sure about Martin Jones, but it may not matter. In a shortened season, we know both guys are capable of playing a lot of games. So if you get 30 games out of Dubnyk at his peak, and man, he could be real good again. That's what I
said. I think if you got all the team around,
I agree.
On the flip side, San Jose will be great. On the flip side, I would say to you, I'm scared for Pittsburgh.
Remember
this.
How I feel about that. I think Pittsburgh's going to do pretty damn good. I think the shortened season. I don't like Pittsburgh, as you know, but I like Malkin, and I think a shortened season with Malkin and Crosby will be very, very good.
I believe Pittsburgh maybe not make the playoff.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at the standings, but I think
this division is so strong over there. That division is really strong, and I think there will maybe a hard time to go through Islanders and Washington and Boston, and you can go all the way like that. So it's a really, I believe maybe Rangers can be over them.
Maybe the Rangers could surprise us. I think here's what I see in Pittsburgh is their issue last year was Crosby again misses, a chunk of time. He played 41 games. We know that prior seasons, Malkin's missed a chunk of time. And the only way that team wins is when they got both. So I think that the shortened season will really, really benefit them as they try to make one last stab. I hope they don't, but I have a hard time believing they won't be in the playoffs. But never know. I mean, I think they got real good goalie, and
I believe right now, Philadelphia, Washington, Islanders, all over them.
Philadelphia, Washington, Islanders. I think they'll be in that mix, but yeah.
Right, and then after that, they have to fight again. Um, Boston,
Well, Boston's definitely not as good as they were last year, but
right?
they're still pretty damn good.
Okay, so they have to still to fight, and I think Buffalo is better today than it was like a year ago,
I
and Rangers is better team what it was 1 year ago,
it's gonna
and
be a
then
war,
New
man.
Jersey is better what it was 1 year ago, and I don't think so. Pittsburgh is better today it was 1 year ago.
I think they're better, but I don't know if they're good enough when you say it that way. But I think the X factor is those two star players and Letang. But you got to hope Buffalo has a significantly better year. Boston, I could care less about.
The sadness about Buffalo is they are the wrong division for all the change. They don't make them enough strong to compete to go through Philadelphia and Islanders and Washington.
Wait,
Because
here's the problem with
what
Philadelphia.
my point to you is Buffalo was in division play against Ottawa and Detroit. Now they go in the division where they are a stronger team.
So do they have it posted yet? They don't. I don't know where the list is, but so I think here's the thing about Buffalo that you're going to have Dylan Cousins. You're going to have Stahl. You got Eichel and Hall, which could boom or bust, but I think the shortened season will really benefit Hall. You got the best young defenseman in the world in Dahlin. The goaltending, I'm not sure. I think the one goal, right? But yeah, goaltending, a little bit risky, but every other position they're real good. Is that good enough to be better than Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh have not great goaltender, although the fact they have only Jerry, but Jerry cannot carry on the team over 40 games.
Absolutely, he can.
I believe because he got number, but because he was with Matt Murray, I think he can go about 30 games. Because remember, the schedule is back-to-back game every weekend.
Yeah. Tristan Jarry is better than Matt Murray.
Definitely, I don't say he's not good. I don't say. I just said I believe team with two good goalies have better chance to go through this versus a team with only one goalie. Because
I don't think they have one goalie though.
But I don't see Casey the Smith better to Matt Murray or to he's just a normal backup number two.
Yeah. But he'll pick up 15 games, and Tristan Jarry is very capable of a heavy workload. Tristan Jarry is like,
oh yeah, I don't diminish his talent. I think he's a little bit late goalie like Max Strom. I don't want to compare, but he's only came late in the NHL because the traffic in front of him, right? So Fleury was there. Then you got Murray, great year, back-to-back, and 3 great years. Now he slipped between the Smith, and now he's getting there. But I think he's matured to perform, and he's everywhere he's been there, I believe he always been great stat number as a goalie.
For sure.
Not sure to be low by himself like John Gibson or maybe Frederick Anderson. You know what I mean? I'm not yet.
We're gonna find out. I think that 2 years ago he was the best goalie in the organization, and they held him back. He went into training camp and absolutely was lights out. Yeah, and that's when they clued in. Ooh, wait, we got something. Yeah, and Murray faltered, and they just delayed him because I think so. To your point, Markstrom struggled up until a certain age, and Jarry has not done that. Jarry's legit. So I agree. That's gonna be a crazy division.
I know. I can't wait to do our power ranking. We're going to get there. I'm excited about that one there. So let's move on with Dallas Star. I think it will be a quick exercise with them. So let's move on this one.
All right. We'll check. Sorry, Pierre.
No, we love it.
I didn't update this, but all right. So I think we start on goalies.
Yeah.
Both Khudobin and Bishop are eligible, but they both have no movement. How is that going to work? So I guess Khudobin.
Yeah, they have movement. they have no movement. They have like a close. It's not like an MTV, so an NMC. So they have a choice. So they give a yeah. So
Look at
I'm sorry.
look at Ben Bishop. It says he's got 2 designations. I'm confused by.
So that's why I'm not sure. You have an NMC, so there's no move close. So
Yeah.
usually you get that, you cannot go nowhere. But
Right.
now you have also a MNTC
Right.
where it's a movement, no team
Modified.
close. Yeah.
Modified
So,
movement. So I'm confused by that. So do we have to protect Bishop?
it could be.
Let's look here. Let's see if we can figure this out. That's really weird, right? I've not seen a player with both designations.
And then on the rookie side, they have nobody they have to protect, so that's good. So they can let it go. But I think at that moment, I'll be honest with you, I just let go could have been.
Would you?
Anyway.
So you have to protect Bishop according to Cap Friendly.
Yeah. So
we let to protect Bishop.
Yeah. So you let it go anyway. Could have been for one reason. He's 34. He's always been a backup number 2. He's at 3.333. And I don't see Saldo say, all right, let's go. It could have been like a backup goalie number 2.
Yeah.
So for mine, it's like it just let it go. That's it.
All right. So then let's look at D.
Where this is very interesting, I'm pretty sure.
This is going to be I don't know how interesting it is because you're going to protect Lindell, Klingberg. I assume you have to protect Hezekainen. Or is it because he's on ELC? Let's look at let's look at this tool is really useful actually. So what I'm going to do, let me just change up what I'm showing.
That's pretty sure here. It's a Lindell, it's Klingberg, and also it's Eskaninen. Oleksiak is already UFA next year with Stephen Jones, and that's pretty much it. Pichik and Ferdinand is going to be UFA, and then you have Julius Honka. That's maybe one there, but again, I think when you have Klingberg, you have Lindell and Eskinen, you just said thank you so much. Have a great day, Seattle. Good luck.
Yeah, so I think we're saying these 3 guys, and we don't worry about it.
Yep.
So we got 3 players we have to protect.
Yep.
Do you protect Pavelski?
For that team over there?
Yeah.
Well, you protect Seguin and Ben?
Well, you have to.
Right? And then you have to protect also Pavelski. You have a no-move clause.
Nope.
Yep.
You have to protect. Are you looking at my screen?
No, I'm looking at what salary cap just gave it to me today.
Yeah, look at my screen actually, because we should start using this cap friendly thing.
Because more, we're bigger. I can't see anything.
I don't know why. Can you see that?
A little bit better for sure. So, yeah.
So we know this tells us we have to protect Sagan, Ben, and Radulov. But it doesn't say that about Pavelski.
But I'll be honest with you, they mess up because on the salary cap here in front of me, and you know what? You're absolutely right about a Bishop because also Radulov also have an NMC.
Right.
So I have Radulov right now.
Yeah.
And he's on contract right now. He have an NMC at $7 million for 2 more years.
Yep. So let's take a look at Dallas. So Pavelski has no. It's really interesting because you're right. He shows no movement clause. So why do you not have to protect him? That's weird. Let's protect him. So now we got 3 more.
I went a little bit more deeper. Okay. Yeah. And he said here, okay, I'm smart. You know what I mean? Like, this is really fun to do this. After the season, the 2021, Michael, he become a MNTC player submit a 3-team trade line list on his last year of his contract for 21-22.
Got it. That explains it. So yeah. I think so. We got those 4 guys. We're gonna protect Fax, I assume.
So Pavelski is not protect. You can open up for him.
Do you want to?
Let me check the rest of the players.
So like right now, I'm saying
Ben Seguin and Radulov.
right, and then I'm saying protect Pavelski, Faxa, Hins, and Guryanov.
I would not protect Pavelski yet.
So remove him for who?
So we have to go with Faska
Yeah, they're already picked. So I got Faxa
and
Hines, and Guryanov. That leaves you one more. So you either pick Dickinson or you pick Pavelski. Kind of think Dickinson.
definitely.
Yeah, I think you keep him and you expose Pavelski.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like if you're Ron Francis, do you take John Pavelski at $7 million?
Probably.
He's going to be maybe 38.
It depends on like, so then you think about when I come to Dallas and I look at who's exposed, you would have you can't pick Johns or Alexiak. They're unrestricted. So Honka is restricted. So you could pick Honka. So your choice as a GM, right, when you look at Dallas, is do I pick Khudobin, Pavelski, or Honka? And maybe, a guy like Kamano. Not much else.
If I will look at about them, I will say to them, I will say to you, I will take Honka.
I think you're right. I would probably do the same.
Because at the end of the day, players like Sekira is 35, would be 36, 1,500, 1 million.5. And then after that,
yeah. I think you're right. I think you pick Honka.
Yep.
Now you could, I think Honka is the guy I would grab because he's talented. He just hasn't got a great opportunity. He's got a lot of NHL games under his belt. I think he's played 80 games.
And Honka, I'll be honest with you, because he played behind those four best defensemen in front of him. That's why maybe not show exactly what he is.
He's played 87 NHL games. He's only 25. Yep. He can skate. He's a right shot. I think you're right. I think that's who I take if I'm a GM.
I know. Yep. I agree with you about that one over there.
Cool. All right.
Good stuff over there.
Yeah, I like this tool. We got to start using it.
Yeah, no, it's good because, that shows exactly why Pavelski is not on the list now because his contract, the last contract, he should be on the salary cap right there. Also put a M-NTC.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if but it's obviously not the case with him, but yeah, good. This is a great tool. We'll have to go back and put our picks in and then we can draft. Because what this lets you do is once you pick the protected players, then you run the draft as Seattle. So I'll go back and try to fill it in.
But it's funny because I don't understand too because or maybe because they have a close they can. Okay, yeah. So the one they add the the NMC and the MTNTC.
Yep.
They cannot expose them on the waiver list for Seattle.
Got it.
So they just this contract like Radulov this year, next year, he can submit 15 team on no trade list.
Interesting.
So that's why they open up those times like that, like Bishop earlier, and that's what Pavelski. So, but again, that's very interesting to see that they sign contract 3, 5, 6 year, and then the last 2, 3 years they have that closed, at the beginning for 3 years, 4 years, the NMC at the beginning. That's good when you click on it. Like it's interesting to see that.
Yeah, I like this tool. This really helps.
I like that a lot. It's good to see. I'm telling you right now, since we do those exercise, the beginning, like the earlier, the preview, the team, everything like that, we see things we never see usually in the back door.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. Good to see that. I learn a lot about that. So I'm very happy about that one over there. So that makes us, Michael, to conclude the daily show of the Hockey Nation live show at the early edition. I think we did very well. We have a lot of signature going on around the league, and now we have to focus more for the next couple of days. I think it would be really the World Junior Championship, and we invite everybody to follow us because we're going to bring more information about that tournament. I think is the one the best, like we said yesterday, and I'm excited about what's going happening. So, anything else to add before we wish everybody a happy holidays and Merry Christmas?
No, have a nice Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you at the World Juniors.
Sound good. Have a great Thursday.